Hello, Dr. Brian Abelson from Kinetic Health. I'm going to go over a few exercises for working on the forearm flexors. You're going to show you some great pin and stretch exercises for opening this up, but also how to create some shear force so that we actually get in there and break up different restrictions. When we're doing a pin and stretch exercise, I'm going to have you basically get on an area and then stretch it out so that we're actually getting the different layers, the superficial, the intermediate, the deep layers, get them gliding over each other, breaking up restrictions. But because all the fibers actually run up and down the arm here, we're going to have to create some perpendicular stress across here and actually create a shear stress so we can get in the fibers and break up restrictions within each layer of tissue. So now we're going to demonstrate a pin and stretch exercise. Now, what this is for is we're going to go in and either on the superficial, intermediate, or deep layers of the forearm flexors. Now, these muscles are really important for several reasons. If we actually break up restrictions in here, we're going to find that we have better grip strength. We're also going to find that all the way up and down here, that we're going to relieve pressure off of the nerves. Ulnar nerves run down the side here, median nerve in the middle, and radial nerve on the outside here. So when we're doing a pin and stretch exercise, we actually want to get on the forearm flexors. So Mickey, why don't you take your hand here, good? And then find a spot. Now we don't want to get right around where the wrist is here because near the surface here we have the median nerve coming through. And people know about carpal tunnel syndrome, and this is actually a pretty sensitive area here, so you got to be a little careful about pushing too much on there. So we go up from that point to start. And we'll push in a bit here. So we take a little bit of traction, and then push in just a little bit there, okay? A little bit deeper, but that doesn't really hurt.
No, not at all.
Okay, good. And then we're going to take our hand and we're going to stretch it out. Now, you want to make sure that you actually maintain your compression on this. Now, what I want you to do is actually go to the edge of the table here and push down a little bit while maintaining that compression.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so you feel that on there?
Yep.
Okay, so you're keeping your traction up in this direction too on your thumb, aren't you?
Yes.
You're pushing in and going up.
Yep.
Good. And we'd hold that just for a short time. Okay, then you release. Good. Now move your thumb just a little bit farther, even more, just for example there. Okay, and again, take some pressure up here, push in. Good. And then take this down from here. So this is a pin and stretch technique. An exercise that you can do yourself at home. Good. Why don't we move up just one more time there. All right. And take it down. Good. You feeling that quite a bit?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So what you'll find with this technique is that you can actually go in, and when you first start doing it, you might want to do some dynamic pulses about 5 times or so, just to free up the area in there. And then get on there and then hold that position like Mickey is for maybe 10 seconds or more, 10 to 15 seconds. How's that feeling in there?
It's easing up, actually.
It's easing up?
Yeah.
So it's starting to let go?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Okay, good. So what we do is we'd actually work from the wrist all the way up as close as we can to the elbow. And we'd actually consider going up on the inside, where the track of the ulnar nerve is, down the center, median, and then directly on the outside for the radial nerve there. The next section we're going to go over how to create shear stress on the forearm flexors. On this next section, I want to show you how to create a shear force on your forearms. A lot of techniques, they help to break up restrictions between different layers of tissue. So when you do the pin and stretch, we're actually looking at the superficial, intermediate, and deep layers and getting a good glide between relative tissues there. But a lot of these tissues, when we look at the fibers, they all go like this. So if we're going to actually create a shear stress, so we break up restrictions within the individual layers, we want to get on there and actually just kind of go back and forth here, okay? And kind of work around there. Okay, why don't you just get in there? Okay. Feeling that a little bit?
Yep.
Okay, good.
It's tender.
So this is actually a technique you can easily do and work on somebody else. So if I was to go on here and I was to actually get in there and start working across here. How you doing there? Feeling that a bit?
Yeah.
Good. But don't go too deep. And especially if you start getting in with too much pressure and you're on a nerve, you're going to feel some pain shooting down there, and that is not what you want. You want to make sure you're not feeling a pulse underneath your hand, and you want to make sure you have no referral of pain down the arm here. So again, you can work on the outside, and actually if you just get in there, you don't have to go too crazy and too deep here, just kind of work your way all the way up. But work your way all the way up, the inside of the arm, through the middle, and the outside here. And you're going to cover the pathway of those 3 nerves, the ulnar nerve, median nerve, and radial nerve. This is a great way of freeing up restrictions in the forearm.